Now let's talk about encapsulation. Encapsulation is the concept of information hiding. So it basically means hiding the internal details of how an object works and exposing only what is necessary. I'd like you to think of it like using your phone. You know how to use the applications on your phone, but you don't need to see the code behind those applications and how they work. So that is the entire concept of encapsulation. Again, just think of it as the concept of information hiding. And we're going to use a simple code example to help us understand this. And we're going to use a bank account example. So we're going to create a class and we'll call this class bank account. And we're going to give it we're going to give it a constructor method, of course, that checks in self. And in your bank account, you one of the operations that you do is checking for your balance, depositing, withdrawing money, getting the balance, everything, all that. So we're going to have balance because that's the main factor here as one of the parameters of this method. Then we'll do self dot. Now normally would say self dot balance, and then self dot balance is going to be balance, just like that. So this is how we normally do it. But because of encapsulation, like you said, encapsulation is the concept of information hiding. So we don't have to show this like this. So what you do is we make self dot balance a private variable. And how we make it a private variable is we use double underscores. So two double underscores. So if we do self dot double underscore balance like that, we make it a private variable. So what that means is that it's only accessible within the class. It cannot be accessed elsewhere. Now let's do a number of operations that we can do here, a number of methods. So the first thing that you can do is you can deposit money into your bank account. So you'll need self, of course, and you'll need amount because you need amount because you're trying to deposit money to your account. Then we'll say if the amount, this just checks to make sure that we get the right values. So we'll just say if amount is greater than zero, so that we don't get any negatives or zeros, then we'll update the balance, right? So we'll just say self dot, again, double underscore balance is going to be I'll just say plus equal amount. Again, we already understand what this does. This is basically saying balance is going to be the existing balance plus the new amount that this person tried to deposit. Then we can just do some simple formatting here, and this formatting is just going to say deposited, and then you tell the user the amount of money that they deposited. So in this case, it's going to be, I'll just say amount because that's what the only thing that we're getting here. Then we'll have an else block. This is in case someone tries to enter a zero or a negative value. Then we'll tell this person that the deposit must be positive, or yeah. So say deposit must be positive, like that. So that is for how you can be able to deposit. So you can deposit our money here at any point you'd like to. Then you can carry out a number of other operations. I'll just to just write the methods, and then you can just do the checks for everything together. You can also, apart from depositing, you can withdraw money. You can withdraw money from your account. So in this case, again, you need to specify the amount that you want to withdraw. So you pass in amount as a parameter. Then we do the simple checks again. So for example, if the amount that someone wants to withdraw is greater than zero, if the amount is greater than zero, but the amount also has to be either less than or equal to the amount available in the account. In this case, the balance in the account, which would be self dot double underscore amount, not amount, but we call it balance here. Self dot double underscore balance. Okay, just a confirmation. Yeah, self dot double underscore balance. Then once you've gotten, we've made sure that it is within this bounds. It's not negative value, and it's still within the limits of how much money this person has there in their account. Then all we need to do is we just need to update the balance because now we are subtracting. So we'll do uh, subtract and then equal sign. We'll pass in the amount here. So the balance in the account is going to be less the amount that this person is just withdrawing. Then you can print a simple statement to tell this person that they've withdrew a certain amount, like that. Then we'll have an else block here. Of course, this is in case someone tries to be clever and they want to enter amount that is either more than what they have in the account or less than zero. Then here we'll just print a statement to tell them insufficient funds, or they've entered an invalid amount. So invalid amount or insufficient funds, like that. So once we withdraw, the other thing that we can do is we can check the balance. This is the main method that we need to just check the balance. Remember, we already have the balance variable. We just need to be able to check the balance. So I'll just create another method here, and I'll call it get underscore balance. And this is just going to have self, and the only thing that this is going to do is it's going to return the balance. So self dot double underscore balance, simple as that. So we have a bank account class that we have the double underscore balance, which is a private variable. Then you have deposit method, withdraw method, and another method for checking the balance. All we need to do now is we need to create an account in our bank. In this case, remember, we're creating an instance of the bank. So the object is going to be the account. So to create the account, just say create account. Yeah, so to create the bank account, we just need to call the account, not the account but bank account class, bank account. Then once you call the bank account, you can pass in the balance. So let's say this person only has 1,000 in their account. Then we can now try to basically do all the other operations. For example, you can deposit some money. Let's say account dot deposit. Then let's say this person wants to deposit 250. Right. So if we do this, then I'd like us to just print the balance in the meantime. So here we just have a message like current balance, and we specify for this person. I'll just use dollar for now. So current balance, this is going to be the account object that we just created, dot, we have to call the get underscore balance function, like that. Okay, now let's try to run our code. It's going to be Python 3. I call this file encapsulation.py. Then once we run it, you see it tells us we've deposited 250 and the current balance is now $1,250. The same thing would happen if we try to withdraw. So let's do account dot withdraw. And then let's say we want to withdraw 500, right? So if you do this, you expect the balance to be, so let's run this 750. So you see we deposited 250, withdrew 500, and the current balance is $750. So basically, you can also just try to access the private variable directly, but that is not recommended, right? So how you can try to access the private variable directly is by just doing this. So just say print, then we'll say account. Remember, account is the instance or the object in this case. Then let's try to access the balance directly, like that. Which normally we just do this. But if we run the code, you notice that we get an attribute error. And the attribute error is that in this case, the bank account object has no attribute balance. Did you mean get balance, right? So like you mentioned, once you make a private variable, it is only accessed directly inside the class. It cannot be accessible outside. That is why when you try to access it from outside, it doesn't even recognize that this attribute exists. So that is basically it on encapsulation. We've been able to see how we can, use these private variables and how to access at any point. So you can see we're doing all the operations within here. Then you can just access the values from outside here. So protecting data like this, of course, prevents misuse. There are many other use cases that you can have in this case. I'd like you to go and try out. Again, think of a use case, or you can just look for another project online that you can see of a similar manner that is going to help you basically practice what you've just done right now. Okay, so I'm going to just disable this. I'm going to, okay, should be just yeah, I just wanted a comment, and I'll just say something like I'll add just an extra comment here, and I'll say this is going to raise an attribute error. Yeah, just like that, because you shouldn't access classes like that. So now if we run our code again, you can see our code is running without the errors. So just something to note from here is encapsulation is really important to help us in hiding some information that we want to hide. There are many instances that we want to do that. And I'd like to just now leave you with a challenge. So far, we've looked at inheritance and encapsulation and all the other aspects of object-oriented programming. So the challenge that I'm going to have for you here, again, just a quite a simple challenge really, and I want you to create yeah create a vehicle class and a car class. Should be like a car class that inherits from it. Then I want you to make sure the car make sure that the car class has a private attribute. So you see now you can create private attributes. So let's say the private attribute is something like fuel level. Yeah, fuel level could be something that you want to be just private. And yeah, you can also just add methods to add fuel to the car, and maybe someone wants to check the fuel level of the car. Then yeah, that's basically it. The last thing that I want to do is just maybe post your code in the comments or on Discord. So our Discord server is the invite is in the description below. You can just check it out. Join if you haven't already. But yeah, so I want you to go try this out using all the skills that you've learned up to this point and see what you come up with. So if you've learned something new, please smash the like button and subscribe for more content like this. I'm going to be building a lot more Python projects. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.